I'll remove. Eto bro, can you hear me? Walang headset. Don't close the door. Don't close. Oh. Remove headset. So, nagkaroon siya ng audio. Nagkaroon siya ng audio nung tinanggal ko yung headset. Okay, this is supposed to be my microphone eh. Do you hear a feedback?
No.
Internet is very slow. Hello. Alright, so hindi na lang ako gagamit ng microphone. I'll just go directly to the built-in microphone of this cell phone. So yun. By the way, before we start, thank you so much Seeker Clothing for my cap. So sinong nandyan? Jen Spencer. Who else is here? Paramdam naman kayo if nandyan kayo. Hi. Alright, so I'm hoping na may sasali pa, may join pa. Alright, usap-usap lang to. Okay, good. Annalyn Jane, your audio is good now. Thank you. I removed the headset that's supposed to be my mic. So, yun. Okay. Okay. So, may dadating pa ba? Jan Spencer, nandyan. Annalyn, nandyan. I'm waiting kung may sasali pa. Alright, so Frater Jan Spencer, kumusta dyan? By the way, saan ka ba nakatira, Frater? Hi, Diwan, I can hear loud and clear. Hi, Ma, how are you? Alright, Jan Spencer, you live in Metro Manila. Metro Manila po, Frater, Pasay, alright? So what do you do right now? Are you at school or... And how old are you, by the way? All right, John Spencer, working na po, but because of the quarantine, we're on a stop operation. So as of now, dakilang tambay lang ngayon. All right. Well, hindi ka nag-iisa. Um, there is, a lot of people that is experiencing what you're experiencing right now. Um, all right. So it's all right. Taon ka na pala ulit. You're still young, so there's still a lot of opportunities for you. Poor connection. Yeah, poor connection. Very bad connection. Um, it's all right. You have to deal with it. This is what we've got at the moment. So, yun. Ano ba topic ngayon, Frater? Actually, there's really no topic today. It's just Q&A. So, yun. Ask me anything. Sana nga nandito si Earl. Ano? Si Earl, ano pangalan nun? Si Frater Elson? Earlson? Yung madaming tanong sa GC. I hope he's here. Elson. Si Elson pala. Frater Elson. Oh. Alright. So, ikaw bro, John Spencer, do you have any questions that you would like to ask? Na pwede na topic once they arrive. By the way, say hi naman kung nandyan na kayo. I'm seeing there's an increase of the number of people watching. So, sino bang nandyan? Sino bang nandyan? If you're there, say hi ha. Alright, John Spencer. Oo nga po, nagkausap kami, pareho lang kami. Ganon din ako dati. Yes, ako din. Dami kong gustong i-explore. Parang sasabog ang ulo ko sa information na dina-download ko, sa mga videos na pinapanood ko, mga books na binabasa ko. Everything is just so overwhelming. And between knowing the path and walking in the path. So I decided to slow down and started actually practicing the path. So sit down and meditate, read a little, sit down, meditate, read a little. And I'm not stressing myself anymore about enlightenment. Chill. If it will come, it will come. If it will not come, then maybe next lifetime. I really don't know. Just trust the process. All right. So John Spencer question about reincarnation, Frater. All right. So what about reincarnation? What is your question pertaining to reincarnation? reincarnate, do you think it's unfair? Why? Why do you think, or let's say, why ask if I think it's unfair that we don't remember any of our past lives? The concept kasi of being fair or being not fair, um, it's actually it just exists in the human language, the fairness and not fair. Because if we come to think of it, the process kasi of reincarnation, if we really try to understand it deeply, is a natural, right? Though um, your current mind right now do not remember any of the things that happened in the past. However, your body, let's say your energy body or your soul, actually remembers everything because um, your good karma and your bad karma is actually uh, imprinted within your entire being, your body. So when you reincarnate, um, that's when you know uh, the circumstances will be different. For example, if you have gathered good karma in the past, then according to the teachings, when you reincarnate into this world, you know maybe you will be born in a rich family, or if not, maybe you're born with these talents, with special talents, with gifts and whatnot. But your memories, it's not really wiped out totally because it's actually right. But when you say the memory experience, it will be lost. It's because um, the vessel, right, the hardware, the brain that contains those memories are actually already not functioning. It's already right? Um, do I think it's unfair if we don't remember? I don't think it's unfair. Again, the concept of fairness is only exists in the human language because for the universe, really, that's just attachment, eh. But for me, if you ask what do I think, I think our memories will be erased pag na-reincarnate tayo. It's because people kasi has this tendency not to live in the present moment, eh. So if we have, or if we could, all of us, if we could remember our past life, there are things that hindi maganda. And instead of you being born again in this world, focusing on the now to build a better future, what we usually do is, we think about the past. We become a slave of the past. Andyan na naman yung feeling of self-loathing, guilt, and, self-blaming. And we're not able to move forward kasi nga, those memories, the bad memories from the past is still there. So, di ba, kahit nga ngayon, di ba, um, when you are, let's say, talking to someone, or let's say when you're at school or at work, you're talking to someone, instead of paying attention to that someone, sometimes when the discussion gets boring, your mind starts to wander. It could either go to the future or go to the past, right? So, I think it is just fair that our memories from our past lives would be erased so that we can start a new journey we can start a new life in this new incarnation. Okay, so I hope. Hello. Hello, mic check. Can you hear me? Just someone, no audio again. Okay. John Spencer, so how can we know what must be learned if we don't remember any of it? It's like we're going back to grade one over and over again, just like existing in a time loop. Yeah, that's very. So, how can we know what must be learned if we don't remember any of it? Well, um, ganito yan. After, what do you call that? Um, this is actually a mystery, and because this is a mystery, we can only speculate. All right, we can only speculate. What could uh, what it might be, or kung ano ba talaga ang where to start, right? However, um, dun nga sa na-mention ko kanina, our memories are not entirely lost. The memory we got, however, our karma, our body remembers everything, right? That is karma because we are made up of energy. And for every action, there would always be equal and opposite reaction. So, it is within our chakras or our energy centers. Diyan kasi diyan nakadikit yung mga karmas natin. So, because of that, though we don't have any memory of what have happened in the past, except for some people who still have memories from their past life, at least one life before. But for most of us, no. Hindi yun nangyayari. So, once that happens, once you get reincarnated back into the world with no memories, no intellectual memories of what happened in the past. However, your body remembers it. Your chakras, all your karma is there, good karma or bad karma. And when you start walking into this world, when you start walking in the path of life, dyan na nagsisimula yung tinatawag natin na synchronicities. Alright? So, all the people that you meet, all the things that are happening in you, that is actually your karma at work. That's actually your memories at work. And if you pay close attention to it, you will know where to start. Right? So, right? Um, this is the system kasi of the whole universe eh. And, you know, ituro sa'yo kung ano yung gagawin mo. Right? That's not the obligation of the universe. That is your obligation. I've read somewhere, no, that the purpose of our existence in this world is actually for God to have experience, so that um, there will be an expansion of experience, so that consciousness will expand, and because of that, um, being born again into this world without any memories of our past life means that, there could be other ways of doing that specific thing that you did in the past. For example, if you did something wrong in the past because of the choices, the specific chain of choices that you have made in the past, if you will be born again and then you don't have any memories of that specific decisions that you have made, then there is a probability that the same set of choices. And with that, mas lalong mag-expand ang consciousness ng, ng Diyos as a whole, ha? As a whole. And of course, for you, if you will encounter the same situation that you have encountered in the past, once you don't have a memory of it, again, may tendency kasi yung mga tao na you might be choosing the same choices or you might not be choosing the same choices. And, the universe kasi, when the universe looks at you in that specific moment, that's the time when the universe can assess kung may natutunan ka ba talaga sa new life mo or wala. Because, parang ganito yan eh, hindi papakita ng universe sa'yo kung ano yung nangyari in the past. Hahayaan ka niya na, start your life and you grow, and then until you encounter the same situation again in the future. And once you are in that the same situation in the future, dun ma-assess kung talagang nag-mature ka ba, dun ma-assess ng universe kung talagang nag-grow ka ba spiritually. Because kung nag-grow ka spiritually, yung mga bad decisions na ginawa mo in the past, you will not be doing it in the future. Right? Without having any clue what was that in the past. Kasi pag pinakita yan ng universe na, oh, here's what you did in the past. So, common sense, in the future, in my next life, eto na gagawin ko para hindi na ako magkamali just like before. But that's easy. Right? That's easy. That's spoon feeding. Right? So, how would you grow spiritually? How would you, strengthen your, let's say, how would you strengthen your spiritual path? Right? So that's why, that's my take on it. That's how the universe works. So hindi niya pinapakita kung ano yung nangyari in the past, so that to test if really may natutunan ka ba talaga, or nag-grow or nag-mature or nag-evolve ka ba talaga spiritually. So it's like we need some thrill. Sort of, yes. The thing kasi bro is ganito eh. Though we are in the spiritual path, but we don't have to take life too seriously because nobody's getting out alive. Right? How should I put this? We practice spirituality not for enlightenment. We meditate, we do contemplation and stuff. And people think, oh, it's for us to become enlightened. But truth is, it is not for enlightenment. We have our spiritual practices because we are spiritual beings. Just like, why are you breathing? Do you need to have a reason to breathe? No. You breathe because it is natural for you to breathe because you are alive, right? You don't need to have a special reason why you have to breathe because you just need it. You just need to breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. It's just that. So, why do we have spiritual practices? Why do we practice spirituality? Is it for enlightenment? Actually, no. We have our spiritual practices because we are spiritual beings. We're just having a temporary human experience. So just like eating, just like breathing, it's normal. So we need to practice spirituality because we are spiritual beings. And there's no other reason for that. Now, um, for enlightenment, you know, life kasi is a journey. Um, Enlightenment, just like happiness, is not at the end of the road. It is actually the journey. Right? So it's like we need some thrill. Well, yes, because um if you if you move too fast, too focused to the end point, then you will miss the whole point. Uh, I always remember my mentor before. He was Tao Malakay. He was the lineage holder of the Sophian Gnostic tradition. I was under him for a short period of time, but his words were very, very, very powerful. He said, you are in a spiritual path. What is the goal? He said, there is actually no goal but the path. You take the path as the goal. So at first, I didn't understand that. Take the path as the goal. So what's really the goal? So why am I doing all these things? Then I realized that there's really no goal because whether you like it or not, you will be enlightened. Maybe this lifetime, next lifetime, after 100 lifetimes, it really doesn't matter. It's like you're playing chess with God ba? You know the rules of chess. And God is, let's say, God is the grand master of chess. Well, eventually, you know that God will win in the end, right? But as to when He will win, how He will win, that's not yet determined because nakadepende kasi yan sa moves na gagawin mo. So, yun, there is no goal but the path, but you need to take the path as your goal. Meditation, when you meditate, um, it is actually the goal. The goal itself is meditation. It's not for any other um, reason, right? Because enlightenment is there. Enlightenment is being right here, right now, being in the present moment, being one with everything. That is enlightenment. So it is not something like it's an end goal. It is actually enlightenment is an unfolding. Enlightenment does not stop. It does not end, right? So every single day you're like a lotus that's unfolding, opening up infinitely. So you don't really uh, attain enlightenment like just one stage. Oops, enlightened na ako. Hindi. Enlightenment is a process. Once someone becomes enlightened, that person is still experiencing enlightenment. It's like a thousand petaled lotus that's continuing to open, open, and open. So I hope I'm making sense. Lenny Acompañado. Hello from Dubai. Good evening, everyone. Hi, Joe. Hi, Ma. Good evening. All right. So who is this just someone? All right. So hi to everyone. Hi to everyone that's here. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. So sinong nandyan, please say hi. Type hi. Hello. All right. So basically, we don't have any topic for tonight. It's just ask me anything. Just ask me any question that you would like to ask. Right? John Spence. This actually All right, so all right, internet is so slow. I'm very sorry. All right, are they still awake? Okay, paano ba to? Internet is very, very slow. Let me check. All right, so yeah, sino pang may mga tanong dyan na pwede natin pag-usapan, no? I do not claim that I know all the answers. If I don't know, I will say that I don't know, right? Let's just have a discussion because I do believe that in having meaningful intellectual discussions, somewhere in the middle, we will, get the answers that we needed. Or if not, if we don't get the answer that we need, somewhere in between, we get the wisdom that our soul truly needs. Because sometimes when you're asking a question, and you are not given the right answer, then that's the time when you will realize that um, maybe the question is wrong, or maybe the uh, the one you're asking is not, or the person that you're talking to is not the right person to answer the question, or perhaps some other things like maybe um, the question is somewhat uh, not fitted for maybe that specific situation. So, lots of things. So, if you will not get the right answers that you need or that you want, then maybe um, in that specific scenario, you may not get the answers, but you will get wisdom out of that scenario. Just someone, hi, or hello, hello. Who are you, just someone? Right. So, yeah, by the way, our live session for tonight is called Ask Me Anything. We really don't have any specific topic, right? It's just normal Q&A, chikahan, chikahan lang. Okay? So, again, yung sinasabi ko kanina, if you ask questions, um, you may get the right answer, you may get the wrong answer, but, somewhere in between, you will get wisdom, right? um, sometimes, no, um, the questions that we ask are more important than the answers, because the main reason why we are not getting the answers that we need is because we are asking the wrong questions. All right. So, in this session, there's no right or wrong question, huh? Just ask anything that you feel like asking. But of course, it should be related to spirituality and other things that is related to it. So, I'm trying to check kung gising pa ba yung mga kaibigan natin. Luna Arcana Light, hello. Is this still alive? Hello. We're still here. Luna Arcana Light, sino to? Um, who are you? Magpakilala ka? I'm sorry. Um, what's your name on Facebook, by the way? Luna Arcana Light. Nana FGO, good evening, folks. Yung pipikit-pikit na rin ako. Hi, Nana. Thank you so much for coming here. Hi, Luna Arcana Light. Thank you for coming here. Welcome, welcome. So, Alona Luna Kiana. Alona, hi there. Okay, ito pala yung ano mo. Ito yung tawag nito. YouTube account mo. Okay. I see, I see. Alright. Hi po. Good evening. I didn't accept you. I think so. Yes, I think so. Okay. Kasi ina-add ko kasi dun kasi sa GC, I try to add those people who I think resonates with my spirituality. So I just don't add people randomly. Before, I do that. I add people randomly. But now, medyo mapili ako sa ina-add ko. So, yun. But welcome po, welcome. Alright, so, who's here? Uh, Nana, hi there. Just Someone, hi there. And Luna Arcana Light, hello din po. Welcome. So, actually, there's this really no topic for tonight, right? There's really no specific topic for tonight. It's just, simple Q&A. Bali, usap-usap lang. Alright? Ask me anything, or if you want to talk about something else. So long as it's related on spirituality and all the things that is related to it. Alright? So, Nana, do you have anything to say or anything that you want to discuss? And also, Miss Alona, if you have anything that you want to discuss for tonight. Okay, so sino po bang nandito? Please say hi if you're here. Alright? Just type in the chats below. Okay? Alright, Nana FG, just random question. How can you summarize modern monkhood aside from just being outside the regular abbey? Hmm. Okay, so I guess you have watched my video about the modern monkhood, right? That I am currently suggesting. Actually, the concept of new monasticism is not new. Right? May mga taong gumawa na nito in the US, and also, yeah, that's where I borrowed the concept. And also, I have been a member, or I am still a member of the um, Order of the Missionary Fathers of Saint Joseph. So, um, yung bumuo ng order na yun, um, is is an independent Catholic bishop. He is Bishop Agay D. They're independent Catholics, and within their church, he has created an order. It's like, yeah, parang modern monkhood siya. At ano siya? Yun. The monks are married. They can choose to get married or not. They live normal lives. However, meron pa ding, of course, meron pa ding monthly meetings. Um, kung sa medieval times yan, ano yung, di ba, dati nasa mga monasteries yung mga monks, but right now, um, what we are suggesting, what the new monasticism is suggesting, is that the monks can live normal lives, and then for special occasions, let's say maybe once a month or once a week, you meet up in the temple, and you do your uh, let's say service, or you will do your those specific activities that you are ought to do on a monthly basis or on a weekly basis. However, meditation, mindfulness, and self-awareness is being practiced every day. Um, yun. But you were asking about a summary, no? Medyo mahaba yung answer ko. Alright, so just running back, how can you summarize modern monkhood aside from just being outside the regular abbey? Well, um, paano ba? If isa-summarize ko siya, it's like you considering yourself or your body as the temple, and the altar of sacrifice is your heart. And worship for you is not about singing or dancing on Sundays or Saturdays for some churches, but it's like it's giving service to humanity, because you best serve, quote unquote, God by serving others. And also, um, because your body is the temple, meaning that all throughout the day you need to be mindful, you need to be self-aware, and you need to be in a meditative state for the whole day. That's what the Bible says about to pray unceasingly, meaning that every breath you take, breathing in, breathing out, as much as possible, it should be meditative. So, what do I mean by that? You need to practice mindfulness and self awareness, even just by sipping coffee. One breath, two breaths, that's meditation already. That's mindfulness. Before you do something, before you say something, before you say something to your spouse, before you get angry at your kid, before you, in everything that you do, when you take a bath, when you brush your teeth, you need to practice mindfulness and self awareness. That's the modern monkhood. Luna Arcana Light. Oh, okay. I want to ask something. Kung masagot mo, okay lang. Kung hindi, it's okay. There is next time. Would you figured out if RC gonna vanish in Philippine culture next 10 years? Hmm. About the RC vanishing in the Philippine culture in the next 10 years, um, I don't know. I don't know. However, according to statistics, there has been a decrease in the church attendance, not just with the Roman Catholic Church, but with all other Christian churches as well. It's either people stop going to church. It could be, some of them become atheists, some of them became agnostics, maybe some of them transferred to a different religion, or some of them became like us, right? They started to seek deep within them. They started to become what they call the spiritual but not religious, SBNR. All right. But 10 years, I don't know if, I think 10 years is too soon. I think it could be longer than that. But me thinks that within 10 years, pababa ng pababa ng pababa na yung church attendance talaga. Not just with the RC, the Roman Catholic Church, but with other Christian churches as well. Because, right now people are actually starting to wake up to the truth. People are starting to wake up that um, true spirituality is actually within, right? Religion kasi is more on believing on someone else's experience. It's believing on something that is written, something that is being spoken to you by someone that has authority or that you think that has authority. But sometimes it contradicts the voice that is within you, right? And people are starting to see that now. On top of that, there are also scientific breakthroughs, evidences that, itong pinagsasasabi ng religion na to, hindi siya po pwedeng mangyari kasi ito, things like that on top of it. So, people are starting to get illumined, right? So, Luna Arcana Light, just someone there is a lot living reincarnation human. Alright, so, just someone is, is there any proof about reincarnation? Um, when you say proof, if you would like to ask, mahirap kasi we're talking about we're talking about souls and spirits. However, there has been research on that. There is actually a doctor who have been researching on that, and there has been different um, people claiming that they have remembered their past lives, and even yun mga tao na pinanganak sila na putol yung paa. I remembered one story. um, he said that in his previous life he was being namatay siya kasi nasagasaan siya ng tren, naputol yung paa niya. And when they tried to check the reports, totoo na may nangyaring ganun, may taong namatay kasi nasagasaan. Tapos yung bata na he said he was a pilot in his past life. So yun, so many things. I just forgot the name of that specific doctor, but I think he already died, and there is someone who is continuing his research right now. So, ano, yun. If there is a proof about reincarnation, I would say there has been data, a collection of stories, anecdotes, with evidences na nagmamatch yung sinasabi ng mga taong ito sa mga tunay na pangyayari in the past. And yeah, maybe next time I'll show you, or maybe I can Google it. Hold on. Uh, I think it is Dr. Ian Stevenson. He's a psychiatrist. Reincarnation research, yes. So yeah, it's here. Wikipedia. Yeah, Ian Stevenson. Check muna, check ko muna. Alright. Oh yeah, okay, ito. So, patay na si Dr. Ian Stevenson. So right now, the one who's continuing his research is Jim B. Tucker. I saw him once on YouTube. On YouTube. So, yes, he is the one continuing the reincarnation research of Dr. Ian Stevenson. Right? So, Lunar Arcana Light, just someone, there is a lot living reincarnation human. Lunar Arcana Light, Roman Catholic religion is the dogmatic knowledge. Yes, I do agree. Yeah. Lunar Arcana, wow, puro mga floating account. Nag-watch you this time, anonymous figures. Yeah, some of those accounts are mine. I actually did it on purpose. Alright. So Nana FG, about safe to say that one can appoint themselves as monks even without an external body recognizing them as one. Now, it really depends, because when you say it is a monkhood, there should be a sangha, or let's say a community, right? Um, Monks kasi, they are ordained, right? Monks are being ordained. Except lang siguro kung you want to follow the path of, um, ang tawag nito, yun bang para kang ermitanyo, nasa ano ka, nasa wilderness ka, parang si John the Baptist. Now that's a that that we are rather trying to organize is different. So this monkhood, these people will actually be validly ordained. They will be ordained as subdeacons and deacons in the Catholic tradition. However, they are not the subdeacons and deacons that will proceed to priesthood. But they can proceed to priesthood if they want, but they can choose not to. And they will just focus on the path of, you know, cultivation of their inner selves, and a cultivation of their own inner being, so that they can use their awakening to help others. So ganun yon, ganun yung na-envision namin na modern monkhood. But for your question about modern monkhood in the US, I'm just not sure if some of them are just appointing themselves as, monks, right? Even without an external body recognizing them as one. Because, again, there should be a community, there should be a sangha, at least there should be one moderator, or what do you call that, a father superior, mother superior, or what do you want to call that. Basta there should be like a community, and there should be like someone moderating the the team, right? At least they will be guided. Kasi iba din naman yung mga ermitanyo. They do not live in a sangha or in a community. They live independently. Parang yung story ni John the Baptist na nasa wilderness siya. So, iba yon. Alright. Luna Arcana Light, define God in your version. Oh my God. Sige, later. I'll answer that. Mama Jo, sorry I'm late. Still in the kitchen. Oh, hi Mama Jo. Thank you for coming. Namaste. Ano ba niluluto mo ngayon? Patikim naman. Alright, thank you for coming, Mama Jo. Alright, so Luna Arcana Light, define God in your version. Well, this is the greatest dilemma of every spiritual person, or anyone who is in the spiritual path, because if you try to define God, it will stop being God, right? Because God kasi is given to this infinite energy consciousness that exists in the whole universe, right? So the moment we try to narrow down this infinite consciousness, this infinite energy consciousness that exists, that is also within us, that manifested everything in the universe, it will stop on becoming God. Kaya nga, di ba? Ang daming gera, no? Actually, the battle is not between good and evil, but it's actually a battle between belief system. This is my belief, that is your belief, because that is our different versions, that is our different definitions of what God is and what God is not. So the moment we try to narrow down God, the moment we create an image of God in our minds, we have created an idol for ourselves. And our God will only love the people we love and hate the people we hate. That's why, diba, during the crusade, the Muslims and the Christians were fighting, both claiming that God is on their side. But which God? Right? Are there two gods? Are there 30,000 gods? How many gods are there? There's only one God. It is the consciousness of the people that fails to understand the vastness, or the infinite consciousness of this God. We try to narrow it down. It's like yung story ni Saint Augustine. Sabi ni Saint Augustine, I really want to know God. How can I know God fully? Tapos in a dream, Saint Augustine saw this boy, and this boy was actually yung nasa dagat. So the boy was digging a hole in the sand. Tapos tumakbo yung boy, kumuha siya ng pail of water, kumuha siya ng tubig sa dagat, nilagay niya dun sa butas na ginawa niya sa sand. Tapos tumakbo na naman yung bata, kumuha ulit ng tubig, nilagyan niya ulit ng tubig yung butas sa sand. Sabi ni Saint Augustine, bata, ano yung ginagawa? Ay, sir, I'm actually trying to transfer the whole ocean into this small hole in the sand. Sabi ni Saint Augustine, Bata, imposible yan. Paano mo nagpagkakasya yung yung dagat na napakalaki dyan sa napakaliit na butas na yan? Tapos sinagot siya ng bata. So sir, mas imposible yung iniisip mo na kaya mong ilagay sa utak mo yung mysteries of God. Yun. So yeah, define God in your version. I really don't know. I have my own interpretation of God. I have my own version of God, but I know that this is not God. This is just an image that I have created, that this is my God. But this is not the ultimate. This is not the truth. This is the truth for me, but this is not the absolute truth for everyone. This is a subjective truth in me. This is my image of God, my idol of God. I even sometimes imagine Jesus as God. But that is my image, my perception. But when I try to show that to you, it may not be the God that you are imagining, right? Because the real God is infinite, cannot be defined, cannot be put into words, and you cannot even call God God, because when you call God God, it stops on becoming a God. Am I making sense? Mama Jo, sorry I'm late, still in the kitchen. Oh, haha, chicken tikka masala. I'm not familiar with that, Mama Jo. Sige, check ko na lang video mo mamaya if you made a video about that. Luna Arcana, hello po sa lahat. Don't get offended on my question. That's in general. We're not offended. Don't worry. We are all open-minded here. And we appreciate these kinds of questions because, again, sometimes the questions are more important than the answers. Mama Jo, where's Maha? Si Maha I don't know if she's sleeping or she's still awake. Nasa kwarto po. Luna Arcana Light? Good. It makes me feel you more. Luna Arcana, it's humanity against the authority of power on earth. The source? Luna Arcana, both are in my version. Facts. Okay. Alright, so I hope what I shared is, what I shared made sense to you, right? Yeah. So yun, that's my take on that issue. Because for me, no, the world doesn't need a new version of God, right? Because minsan kasi ganito nangyayari eh. Everyone claims that their version of God is the correct one. However, when you look at their lifestyle, when you look at their actions, it seems that they do not represent the God that they are preaching. All right. So, what I think is needed in the world right now is, I think what we needed right now is to really act upon it, like not debate on which is the correct version of God, but rather start doing things that would show who your God is to others. Diba? Sabi nga, your beliefs rather would not make you a better person, but your behavior does. So yun, that's how I see it. All right. Lunar Arcana Light, you got me on God is infinite. Ha ha ha. Yes, it is infinite. Yes, God is infinite. Source, whatever you wanna call it. It's really ironic that when we use the word infinite, it stops on being infinite because it becomes finite because of the word, because such word can describe something that is infinite. It's really ironic. Anyway, but yeah, that's Okay, sana si Nana? Nana FG, where are you? Nawala si Nana. Nana. Sino pa nandiyan? Oh, with headphones. Nana FG, what is your view about another context of us being gods in the concept of Maya? What do you mean, other context of us being gods in the concept of Maya? Can you please, elaborate more, perhaps? Nana FG still here? Yeah, you're still there. Just checking if you're still there. Mama Jo, just listening with headphones. Thank you, Mama Jo. Yep. So Maya, you mean illusion, right? Maya or illusion. So, in Hinduism and even in Buddhism, the term Maya means illusion, right? So, the world, everything here that exists, thou, is just an illusion. This is just Maya. And the greatest illusion, according sa mga Indian, the greatest illusion is the illusion of separation. Alright, so sometimes it does feel confusing when I read books, both related to Hinduism, though that was years ago, about us being gods and the other saying we are not, as it's just an illusion. So, yep, kinda confusing. Okay. Alright, so first let's dissect things. Um, Haha, you got the accent. Nana FG, sabi mo, I got the accent. Yep, something like that. The greatest illusion is the illusion of separation. So, okay. First of all, there is really no Hindu religion. I've heard several yogis who said this, even Sadhguru, he said this, that there's no such thing as Hinduism. It is actually the Westerners who started coining the term Hinduism because Hinduism or the Hindus, every person who lives in India is called a Hindu. And because they are living, kasi may ano yan eh, may Indus River, may Indus River. So they call them Hindu because they are living there, right? So it's not really a religion because when you say it's a religion, there should be a concrete set of beliefs, and then there should be a doctrine and a dogma, and then the hierarchy of the priests and whatnot. But India kasi is not a land of believers. I'm quoting Sadhguru. According to him, India is not a land of believers, but it is a land of seekers. So, so these people are seeking God, and these people has different experiences when they are seeking God. Right now, Hinduism, gamitin ko na lang yung term. So, in India, they have 33, quote-unquote, million gods and goddesses. Their, that happened when their population reached 33 million. because everyone realized that God is infinite. However, their own consciousness, their own, let's say, higher consciousness actually grasp an aspect, or let's say a part of God that manifested into their own being. That's why they said that they are gods. So in India, dumating yung araw na they have 33 million gods and goddesses because there has been 33 million people living in India. So what I'm trying to say is that iba-iba yung interpretation ng mga tao. Kasi iba-iba din yung mga devotions nila when it comes to their gods and goddesses. Now, actually, both can be true. That we are gods, small letter G, yes, or we could also be not gods. It's just an illusion. It could also be yes. So, why is it true that we are gods? We are gods because um, we are actually the container of God. We are the vessels of God here in this world. So, if someone who is awakened um, and the divine manifested in him, he will become the living embodiment of God. I think my term ang mga Indians, they call it, the media calls them Godmen, but they are actually called Bhagwan. Bhagwan ba? Tama ba? Tama ba yung term? I think that's Bhagwan. So these are the holy men in India. That is the highest title that they can give to, what is Bhagwan? Bhagwan. Uh, hold on. I just want to correct that. Mhm. All right. So anyway, yeah. Anyway, going back. So if a person kasi becomes the living embodiment of God here in this world, we've seen this so many times. Um, Jesus, Buddha, or other, let's say, holy men that has ascended in the higher realms. These are the perfect examples of the true God men. They never claimed that they were gods, but we know that they are gods, right? However, if someone that who is unenlightened, but he just read on the scriptures, or perhaps he just watched a video on YouTube that we are all gods, and maybe read somewhere of a blog of a new ager, or a vlog of, let's say, a Hindu. um, what happens is that they started claiming, right? They started claiming that they are gods. So when someone says that I am God, then that is an illusion. When someone says I am God, then that person is a delusional, because you are not God. because you are speaking that from your ego and not coming from your higher self, right? Because even those people who incarnated in this world that are the living embodiment of God, they didn't claim that they are gods, all right? So, and those teachings kasi, I remembered those followers of Vishnu, those who are following Vishnu, um, what they are saying is that yun nga, you need to be devoted to God, you need to serve God, and you are not God. But for those following Shiva, especially the Kashmir Shaivites, and also for the Brahmins or those who practices Advaita Vedanta, um, these Hindu sects, they believe that we are all gods. We all contain God within us. However, yun nga, if we claim that we are gods and we are still not awakened or not illumined, then we are speaking from the ego, then that is an illusion. You are still in the veil of Maya. You're still under the illusion. But once you really become the embodiment of God, then you will show it in your actions and never will you claim it. Diba? Sabi nga sa isang Buddhist proverb, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill the Buddha. It's funny, but it's actually it's actually a metaphorical statement, meaning pag may nakita ka na nag-claim na siya yung Buddha, that's not the Buddha. If someone claims that he or she is a god man, that's not the real one. So run away from that person. If not, then kill that person. That too, I've heard of that too, that it isn't really a religion at all. Nana FG, that's not a religion at all. Even the Vedas just means wisdom. Yes, correct. Vedas means wisdom. So it's really not religion. Mama Jo, yes, why most of your topic is about Indians? I'm sorry, but doesn't really like them that much. I'm working with Indians right now and they're giving me headaches. That's true, they worship a lot of things, especially animals. Alright. So why most of your yeah, hi Mama Jo. Um sa sa India kasi Mama Jo, people there are very spiritual. However, the also the problem of in India rather is they also have lack of education. So kahit ano na lang, most of the time pinaniniwalaan nila. Sa India kasi, though maraming spiritual person dun sa India, marami ding mga manloloko sa India. Marami ding mga fake guru sa India. They just, they just start their own cult, their own religion, and then they started attracting people just for money, for control. Yun. So, it's just sad na yun yung nangyari sa mga Indians. Um, they almost worship everything because pag nawala kasi yung original meaning ng spiritual practice, pag hindi na ipasa yun ng tama or pag pinasa pero mali yung pagkapasa ng interpretation, nag-iiba na. For example, ganito. 'Di ba yung mga Indians, they worship the cow. Bawal sa kanilang pumatay ng baka. Pag may nasagasaan ka na baka, there's a state in India, I forgot. Basta huhulihin ka kapag nakapatay ka ng baka. So, you can't kill the cow, but why is it that so? Bakit nila halos sinasamba nila yung cow? It's because in ancient times kasi the cow, yung original teachings kasi niyan, yung cow kasi is para siyang the cow is representation of transmutation or transformation of life, di ba? For example, yung cow, di ba kakain siya ng damo? Kapag kumain ng damo yung cow, it will be digested, right, on their stomach. And then, the nutrients coming from the grass, it will become milk. And that is the giver of life. So, that's how the universe works. That's how life gets recycled. It's called transmutation. First, you destroy something and then you create something new out of it, that it becomes very useful, just like the grass. We cannot eat the grass, but when the cow eats the cow will then transmute the grass in their body and then it will become milk. And that great mystery, that is the thing that they revered the most. But what happens right now is that they try to understand it literally, making the cows holy. Kaya yun, ginawa nilang Diyos yung baka. Instead of trying to understand the hidden meaning behind why the cows are very special to them. Yun. Yeah, that those two books I have read were different from each other in a way. Vaishnava versus Shaivites. Yes, the Vaishnavas, they really wanted to propagate the word na you are not God. You are here to serve God. Parang ganun. But the Shaivites are different. Shiva is everywhere. Di ba? Shiva, Har Har Mahadev, Har Har Mahadev, Har Har Mahadev. Meaning Shiva is everywhere. Shiva exists everywhere. Nana FJ, exactly. Those are mostly con men and just out to take your mula. Correct. So marami sa India. May ano pa nga, meron talagang anong tawag nito? May fake guru sa India na napakalaki ng followings niya kahit nga sa YouTube. I forgot his name. Sa India kasi yung culture of God men, it's like they are obsessed with. I'm sorry about the term. I hope walang Indian na makakarinig nito, but I think they are obsessed in that type of culture. They are in a way, trying to seek someone to follow instead of looking deep within themselves and communing with God. Yun. I don't know with them. I mean, we cannot really speak on their behalf because we're not them, right? So we need to experience what they're experiencing. We need to know their culture so that we would understand where are they coming from. So if we listen to them, you can truly feel those wisdom from them. But like with Sadhguru, that's why I also stopped listening to him. Most of their words were like magic to others' ears. Mama Jo, yeah, I know that. Luna Arcana, I'm back. Hello, welcome back, Luna Arcana. Hello there. Ricardo's Rochmain Omel, brother. Hoy, brother. I thought you're already sleeping. Welcome, Mama Jo. But the reality in India, most of Hindi were eating meat from cow. Yes, Mama Jo. What I discussed earlier is may isang area kasi sa India, I forgot the place, na bawal talaga sa kanila pumatay ng cow doon. So, yeah, I'm just, trying to explain kung bakit sila halos, they worship animals or kahit nga si Ganesh, the god that has, an elephant head. So, those actually are symbolisms, Mama Jo. Kasi if we try to imagine, ganito kasi yan, iba kasi yung understanding natin when it comes to God compared to the Indians. Kasi yung concept natin of a God is coming from the Western world. So, if you have a God, this is my God, and versus your God, parang ganun siya. Sa sa Indians kasi iba, hindi ganon. Again, they are not, India daw, sabi ni Sadhguru nga, is not a land of believers, but they are a land of seekers. So, they base their God based on their personal experience and not by what others have told them. For example, kahit nga their family is a devotee of Shiva, when they grow up, when they fell drawn to another god, then they will transfer to that another god, and then their family, parang hahayaan lang sila ng family nila kung anong plano nila in their life, because for them, gods and goddesses are actually just a representation of universal energies. um, if you're a very loving person, so your god could be a loving god. If you are a person that is more inclined to martial arts, then your god most likely would be a warrior god. If you are person inclined in leadership, then your god, the image of your god is more of a leader type of god. So you ganon, that's how they interpret gods and goddesses, because uh, the word God kasi does not exist in the Indian culture. The word God is from the Western world. So I'm actually looking for that word that they are using. That the highest, anong tawag nito? Yung tawag nila sa mga taong naka-attain ng tinatawag nila na godhood. So iba talaga iba yung belief. So we cannot compare the beliefs of the Hindus to our Western understanding of what God is or what God is not. Luna Arcana, can I ask again, would the astrology and divination considered a path? Well, in a way, astrology and divination is considered a could be considered a path, yes. However, ang tawag nito. Um, Ganito kasi yan. Sabi ni Hermes Trismegistus, or Hermes Thrice the Great, if you know about him, there are actually three sciences that each human being should learn. First is astrology, second is alchemy, and third is theurgy. So, astrology, alchemy, and theurgy. Astrology kasi is reading the stars and the planets and the constellations and whatnot, so that we will know our life path, right? It serves as a map in our life. Alchemy is the science of uh, transmutation, self transformation, or self transmutation. So this works hand in hand with astrology, right? Because when you know your life path, and you will know what to do or what not to do, and then you will have uh, you will have a strategy on how to navigate your life. And next is theurgy. Theurgy is energy work. It is when you perform, let's say, energy work, mysticism, magic, or whatnot. So these three are actually the main, let's say, sciences as suggested by Hermes. So, with your question, if astrology and divination considered a path, um, yes, but that path is actually incomplete, rather, because it's just one of the three branches or three sciences that was, shared by Hermes. That is, if we follow the teachings of Hermes, ha. Kasi, pag astrology ka lang kasi, and you don't add, let's say, um, alchemy, or, self transformation, enlightenment, and theurgy, energy work, using your energy for manifestation or for whatnot. Um, for me, ha, this is my take on that. Incomplete kasi pag astrology lang at divination lang. Kasi pag astrology lang kasi yung finalo mo, ibig bang sabihin nun, mas makapangyarihan pa sa'yo yung mga bituin sa kalangitan? Mas makapangyarihan pa yung energies ng mga heavenly bodies kaysa sa will na nasa iyo? Diba, we are created in the image and likeness of God. So, kahit Mars retrograde ngayon, hindi ka magpapa-apekto. Or at least, you know how to control yourself because, aside from astrology, you know alchemy. You know how to transmute your energies. For example, Mars retrograde, galit na galit talaga ako today. But because you have also studied alchemy, so you will know how to transmute that anger in you. And, do something creative. And theurgy, energy work, it could be nagagamitin mo yung energy mo from your anger for healing, for manifestation, for whatnot. So, yun. That's my take on that. Nana FG, and that is why alongside intuition, logic and critical thinking shouldn't be neglected. That is correct. Because intuition, I think I've mentioned it in my other videos. Intuition kasi, Nana, is the instinct of our soul. Intuition is the instinct of our soul. Kasi kung sa physical body natin we have instinct, alam natin ito gagawin kasunod na. Kasi animal yan, animalistic yung instinct. So sa spiritual self naman natin, yung intuition yung instinct natin. However, it is not considered intuition if hindi yun magiging considered na intuition if it is due to our gullible, if we are being gullible, or yung tayo, madali tayong utuin. Hindi yun intuition. Walang intuition doon pag nauto ka. Kasi though I agree with your statement, that logic and critical thinking should be there. It should be there. Right? Hindi pwede puro magic lang tayo dito, puro energy lang tayo dito. We need to use our critical thinking as well. However, may mga tao kasi na hindi talaga nakapag-aral pero malakas yung intuition. When they feel that something is not right, they will not go for it. So, importante na ma-develop yung intuition, at yes, importante din na meron tayong logic at critical thinking. That's why education is very, very important. Right? Pero hindi tayo mauto ng mga kulto. Sarap pang sapakin ng mga cult leaders na yan. Mama Jo, you, the yoga master in India, OMG, ang daming kaso pero he's still loitering somewhere. Yes, Mama Jo, that is true. Madami talagang tawag nito, mga yogi kuno, mga yoga master kuno sa India na they just take advantage of the people kasi nga madaling maniwala yung mga tao sa India pag sinabi mo, pag nag-claim ka, example, pumunta kasi sa community na medyo malayo sa syudad. Because every town in India, they have a specific god or goddess Yung iba nga, ah, hindi natin kilala or hindi din kilala ng ibang mga Indians from other towns yung specific god na nasa town na yan. So, yung mga tao, madali silang mauto, especially if they were not educated. So, these cult leaders, yun yung mga tinitira nila. Pumupunta sila sa mga towns na yun. And ito I hope I'm not offending people. Pero ganyan din yung strategy ng mga mga Christian pastors. Pupunta sila dun sa mga bukirin, mga rural areas, yung malaya talaga sa syudad, that they will start preaching God. So that they can have their church, they can have their tithes, they can have their followers. Alright? So, different religion, same tactics. Sheeple, Nana FG, sheeple, kidding to them. Some Pinoys here are like that too, sadly. I think that is human nature, Nana. I think that is human nature because parang built-in kasi sa utak natin yan eh. We want to be led. We want to follow someone. Luna Arcana, pero India ang home of majestic human gods. Well, there are, I'm quoting again Sadhguru. I saw his video earlier kasi. He was interviewed, sabi niya, why are God men entering politics here in India? Religion and politics should not mix in, sabi na reporter. Sabi ni Sadhguru, I've never seen any God man. I've only seen men and goddamned men. So even Sadhguru is not claiming to be a God man because that is a term that is invented or coined by the reporters or by the media, just to give more impact to the news. But they are not God men, for Christ's sake. They could be, awakened individuals. They are the, let's say, containers of God here in this world. We all are the containers of God here in this world. That is, if you follow either Advaita Vedanta or the Kashmir Shaivites. But, yeah, there are no human gods because within us humans, there is a God. When you say human God, that statement is very problematic because again, we have narrowed down something that is infinite into something that is finite, right? Luna are kind of like Dharma. Yes, the Dharma. Correct. So, Dharma. The Dharma, or let's say, the teachings, or the way, or how should I put that? In order to fully fuse the Dharma within you, first you need to have understanding. Next is experience. And lastly, realization. So most of us are only there with understanding and experience. Most of us haven't reached the third stage yet, which is the realization. So Dharma, you need to understand the Dharma. You sit down, you meditate, you experience the Dharma. But even the experience, that is still not realization. It is just a spiritual experience. It will pass by. Enlightenment is like the mountain. It never moves. It's just there. Spiritual experience are like clouds. They keep on changing. They keep on moving. So first understanding, next experience or spiritual experience, lastly is realization. Once you attained once you attained realization, that means you have found the mountain and let go of the clouds. Ricardo's Rochmin Omel, wala pa na ako angkol ganiya. Karon ako nakalugar, alright. Nana FG, very ironic. Nana FG, very ironic how cow is sacred, but their country is one of the largest importers of beef to other countries. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Mama Jo, I understand that thing naman. Actually, even they're so sarcastic person, I try to understand good things from them naman. Kaya kahit papano, harmonious pa din kami dito sa bahay. Yeah, that's actually good, Mama Jo. Because just just don't mind them. Alright? Baka ganun na talaga yung ganun talaga sila makitungo, ganun talaga yung ugali nila. But I'm sure na naka-adjust ka na sa nila, sa mga ugali nila. Alright? Mama Jo, sorry ha, pero most of them talaga is mataas ang tingin sa sarili nila. Well, sadly, yes, because maybe that's part of their culture because they believe that they are gods. Especially if they are, one of those practicing their traditional religion, worshiping Shiva, worshiping Kali, Ganesh, Brahma, you know. Mama Jo, mapababae or lalaki, they feel na hindi sila pwedeng sapawan. Daming pana dito. Kaya most of them proven na ganyan ang ugali. Unfortunately, yes. Chinese people believe those things. Mama Jo, Chinese people believe those things. Lahat ibinibase sa kalangitan. Yeah. Even the Chinese people, actually they have their own folk religion, but yun talagang nag-prosper sa China is Buddhism, Taoism, and then their traditional folk religion. Luna Arcana Light, I'm one of those people who believe in astrology, connection to human. Yes, because um, astrology has in a way connection to us human beings. Kaya nga 'di ba, tinatawag natin minsan yung mga baliw na lunatic because the moon has actually an effect in our bodies. Say for example, 'di ba, pag malaki yung buwan, may high tide. Pag wala namang buwan or let's say mahina yung or medyo malayo yung buwan sa earth, low tide. So the gravitational pull, the energy coming from the moon has an effect on the bodies of water. And if we try to look at ourselves as human beings, we are like more than 70% water. Our brains is 90% water actually. So with that, pag may buwan, especially full moon, is there an effect on our body? Right? And water as well is a conductor of electricity. So, the impulses in our brains, our cells, the mitochondria, and everything in our body that has stimuli is affected by water. So, yun. Luna Arcana Light, logic, critical thinking, at intuition is in me. Very good. Nana FG, yes, intuition should be akin to an educated guess para iwas school to lords. Correct ka dyan, kapatid. Not just in spirituality, parang naglipa na yung kulto mindset even in politics and other parts of society, heist. Yeah. That is true. That is true. So, yeah, kailangan talaga um, education. It's really, really important. Um, ito lang, no? Ito lang talaga ang comment ko sa education. I hope that the education system in the Philippines will change na para bang we are not training kids to become robots, to become slaves, right? Um, we need to recreate, we need to innovate the educational system in a way na it will unleash the true potential of our children so that they would know what they want and they would be able to use their skills and talents in order to create a better place to live in. Nangyayari kasi ngayon, iba eh. Yung bata magaling sa art. Kas lang, nak, walang pera dyan sa art nak. Ano ba yan, nak? Aral ka, maging teacher ka. O mag-aral ka, maging engineer ka. What happens is that yung bata nag-drop out, napariwara. If not, maybe gumraduate, nagkatrabaho, pero hindi siya masaya sa buhay niya. And I'm not blaming parents on this. It's because of the current system that we have. Alright? So yun. Mama Jo, opo naman, dami din sa Pinas yan. Yes, maraming mga kulto leaders dito. Ang nakasama pa niyan, Mama Jo, maraming naniniwala. Marami pa rin naniniwala. I am the appointed son of God. I don't know. Lunar Arcana Light, Nana, sheeples don't want to think what is happening around them. They just follow the mass where they can get something for living. That is true. Nana FG, I think sheeple becomes human nature when people are succumbing to fear, even fear or responsibility for thinking for themselves. Correct. Because, di ba, mas convenient eh. Mas convenient kasi maniwala sa ibang tao kaysa mag-isip para sa sarili mo. For example, the concept of salvation, the concept of going, quote-unquote, to heaven. Hirap mag-isip. So I'll just believe in my pastor. Hirap mag-isip. I'll just believe what other people say. Right? And we don't want to take responsibility. Yeah, fear. But the word fear stands for false expectations appearing real. Until such time it becomes false evidence appearing real. That's why when I started my journey in the spiritual path, I really destroyed the basic foundations of my faith. I needed to destroy it so that I could start seeking. At first, I seeked outside and then I seek deep within. And then slowly, I have different spiritual experiences and I had met different people who guided me in my path. Right now, I think I have a more holistic understanding of things. Because I let go of my fear. Because dati-rati I was an agnostic eh. Agnostic. I don't care if God exists or not, who cares? I exist. But because of that, because of being an agnostic, when I started letting go of my fear, I became a gnostic. I started experiencing series or flashes of gnosis, which led me to my path right now. Alright. Lunar Arcana, sheeple believe in fake prophet. Yes, correct. They, yun nga, mas madali kasi maniwala sa iba kaysa mag-seek deep within. Nana FG, it's really funny and even annoying how some sheeple call other sheeple, lalo na yung nagpapaniwala agad sa conspiracies agad is sila yun, di ba? Oo nga. I think, Nana, I don't know if you've read my post earlier about the story of the Buddha. The forgot the title. It's about the poison arrow, the parable of the poisoned arrow. The parable of the poisoned arrow is like this. There was this man in a war, natamaan siya ng isang poisoned arrow. Now, the doctor is already there and his family and friends are starting to carry that man para dalhin siya dun sa doctor para tanggalin na yung arrow. But sabi ng tao, no, no. I will not go to the doctor not unless I know who shot me. If he is a priest, if he's a warrior, kung saan siya nakatayo before he shot me, and what is the type of arrow that he used to shot me, and all these nonsense questions. And then the Buddha said in the end, the person will die without getting the answers of his questions. So simply put, marami kasi mga tao na they spend more time in asking these, I won't say stupid questions, because for me there are no stupid questions, but I would say irrelevant questions. Right now we are here in this world. We all have carried our karma from our past lives, and then instead of us focusing on self-improvement, on self-realization, here we are focusing on things that really doesn't matter. If the new world order exists, what can you do? Right? Kung hindi totoo ang pandemic, what can you do? These things, right? These are external things. And these things are actually taking away our peace of mind. These are taking away our time for contemplation, for meditation. This steals away the time that we could have spent seeking deep within us. Ginagawa natin, nakikipag-away tayo sa internet. Ito, di ka niniwala, na totoo yung tinan mo to video na to. Tapos isa, hindi yan totoo ito. Di ba? So, we become keyboard warriors. Instead of us sitting down, meditating, contemplating, and, trying to create a better place to live in by making ourselves better first. Diba? Sabi nga ni Rumi, ito yung favorite quote ko talaga. Yesterday, I was clever. I wanted to change the world. But today, I am wise. I am changing myself. So let us change ourselves to create a better place to live in. Mama Jo, na-experience kong makasama iba't ibang klase ng mga katutubo at nakakatuwa kasi parang ang lapit-lapit nila kay God, lalo na sa nature. Parang madali silang pakinggan ng nature. Ang gulo. Yes, Mama Jo, that is very true. Because yung mga tao kasi na hindi tunuruan what is Christianity or what is Islam or whatever type of religion, sila pa yung mga tao na mas close sa nature. Sila pa yung mga tao na mas close talaga sa spirit. I remembered one story about that. There was this priest who went onto a mission somewhere in Amazon, because there was a tribe daw there na hindi sila naniniwala sa Diyos. So that priest, being young, being arrogant, I will convert these people, I will make them believe in God. So that priest went there having the hopes of converting those people. However, in a year, nakakapag-send pa siya ng sulat sa kanyang bishop, na bishop, ito, I'm trying to preach about them. And nakikinig naman yung mga tao, so I started preaching, blah, blah, blah. But after couple of years, one day, the priest stopped sending letters to the bishop. And then, um, they were alarmed. So, nagpadala sila ng marami pang mga pari doon at mga sundalo. Kasi kung baka ano nang nangyari doon sa pare na pumunta doon para mag-mission. When they went there to the tribe, hinanap nila yung pare. Nakita nila na the priest is just there. Hindi naman talaga siya nawala. However, nung tinignan nila, iba na yung kasuotan niya. He became one with the tribesmen. And they were so shocked na, Padre, ba't di ka na nagpapadala ng sulat? Ano nangyari sa'yo? Sabi niya, nung pumunta ako dito, I really had hopes na I will convert them to my faith because I believe that I knew God. But when I came here, it was different. It seems that mas malapit pa sila sa Diyos kaysa sa akin. So that's why, because my path, I really want to get closer to God. That's why I'm here. Yung pare actually yung na-convert into one of the tribesmen. Kasi nga, mas na-feel kasi niya yung presence ng Diyos with those people rather than, just reading the Bible, having Mass on Sundays, and whatnot. So, yun. And yeah, that's why sabi ko, Mama Jo, na it's really mind-blowing na kung minsan pa yung mga tao na akala natin walang alam sa religion, sila pa yung mga tao na mas nakakakilala sa Diyos. Mama Jo, medyo naniniwala ako sa astrology, TM Joseph. Ako din, Mama Jo, I believe in astrology. However, there's actually a way to counter astrology. That's why we need to also focus, aside from studying the stars and the planets, we also need to seek deep within us because we have soul kasi within us. And this soul is more powerful because again this is the extension of God. Within us is God. So astrology can be a map. It is a guide, yes. So if nakita mo sa astrology mo ngayon na things will be on your favor, then good. But if you see that things will be not on your favor today, then you need to do your own inner work to counter that one. So that's what I'm trying to say earlier. Hindi ako naniniwala sa astrology. I believe in astrology. However, we can actually go beyond that, right? Luna Arcana Light, I'm a moon person as I do believe that all planets in the solar system, including the moon, have fragments of their elements to the human body. Yes, that is correct. Because during the Big Bang, when everything was created, yung the same substance na nasa primordial ang tawag nito, primordial matter, kung saan man nagsimula ang universe, it is the same fragments na nasa sun at nasa mga planets na nakapaligid sa atin lahat. So yes, we, you, us, the stars, the planets, we all contain the same substance, alright? Mama Jo, what about mga visions, TM? Like you can see future, mga ganong topic. Okay. Mama Jo, there are actually people who can do that. Those are prophetic visions. Kasi, when it comes to visions kasi, in the physical universe, dito sa kinalalagyan natin ngayon, we experience time as somewhat linear, di ba? May past, may present, may future. However, in the higher realms of reality, time is actually not linear. So the past and the future is actually intertwined. And then there is an infinite possibilities for futures and infinite possibilities of the past. So there are people who are, which I should say, maybe advanced spiritually, that they can access to these higher realms or dimensions. However, what they can see is just one aspect of the future. Based kung ano ang nangyayari ngayon, they see a probability na it is possible na ganito yung mangyari if patuloy na mangyayari ito in the present. So halimbawa, ah parating nagsusugal yung tatay niya, and then nakita niya sa future na if yung tatay niya parating magsusugal, baka patayin yung tatay niya on this month, on this day, kasi nga hindi siya makapagbayad ng utang because sa pagsusugal. But that's just one aspect of the future or one probability of the future, and it is true. Pero pag tinigil na ng tatay niya yung pagsusugal niya, and then the future that she will be seeing will become different. Kasi what she saw is actually just an aspect or just a portion of a possible, a probable future. Pag binago na nung tatay niya yung ginagawa niya, pwedeng hindi yun mangyari in the future. Okay. Alright. Lunar Arcana Light, Miss Nana, I do can see future, past, and present is divination. Catholic says it's evil. No, it's not evil. It's called awakening. And they are afraid because people are starting to wake up. Luna Arcana Light, so don't be afraid. Alright? Nana FG, hahaha, and prophecies are written in a holy book, which, hey, that's also divination, lol. That is correct. So, the early Jews were desert mystics. They were mystics, they have prophecies, divination. Yes. Alright. Lunar Arcana Light, because change is supposedly starts to ourselves, not other people around us. Correct. Change should come from within. Lunar Arcana Light, I'll call divination my ability, not holy thing. Holy is definition of dogmas for me. So, divination, it's just think of it as plain and basic energy work. And it's actually up to you if you make it holy or you make it profane. Alright, it's up to you. It's on the user. Alright, so it's very good. It's good to know that you have that gift, so nurture that. And when people call you a devil or it's evil, no, don't believe them. But don't hate them, huh? Just continue loving them. Try to understand them. Know where they're coming from, because they're not the same as you. They don't experience the things that you've experienced. They don't understand the things that you've understood. Maybe it's still not yet their time to be awakened. So just be more patient on them. Sabi nga ni Mother Teresa, di ba? Love them anyway. Non-FG, but still have my Catholic faith roots, but not stagnant pero yumayabong in understanding, because truth is there is something deeper to Christianity than what it's propagated on the surface mainstream. Yes, Nana, that is correct. So just like me, I am still a priest. I am a priest in the Catholic Universalist Church. Though we have Catholic roots, however, our theology, our interpretation of the scriptures, and our spirituality is much, much different from the traditional Catholicism, right? And all of us, even though we are in this mystical spiritual path, we actually have a foundation, a spiritual foundation. Then from there, we study other things from other religion, but we still have our foundation, right? It will just strengthen our foundation. All right, so Nana FG, but thing is, divination is connecting to the divine, aka to what is holy and sacred. Yep, that is true. Nana, you'd actually hear about astrology in the Bible, from Mazzaroth in the book of Job to the prophesying of the birth of Christ via star in Bethlehem. Yes, that is correct. But actually, Ito lang drop ko na sa inyo tong bomb na to. Hindi kasali sa original narrative ni Jesus about sa yung about sa pag-prophesize ng birth niya via Star of Bethlehem and whatnot. These are all additions in the Bible because the New Testament has been written like 2-3 generations away from the time of Jesus, and the apostles didn't wrote anything, like literally didn't wrote anything. And the epistles has been written by the apostle Paul, and Paul is not an apostle, by the way. He even didn't met Jesus face to face. What he has is just the second, third hand information about the teachings of Jesus. He was not really mentored by Jesus, so careful tayo dyan. But yes, the prophecies, especially the Star of Bethlehem, here we have an idea that the early Christians has this belief. But if you're asking me if this is part of the original narrative, no. Try to read the synoptic gospels. So Matthew, Mark, Luke, hindi sila coincide. But they are similar, though. You'd actually be surprised to hear, okay, Nana FG. Mama Jo, I don't know kung maniniwala ka, pero talagang lumilitaw yan sa balintaw ko nung bata pa ako, madalas ganon. Pero nakakatakot kasi puro accident yung mga nakikita ko. I see. Mama Jo, have you tried to talk to someone who has the same abilities as yours? Kasi ngayon, I really mahirap na kasing makakita talaga ngayon na yung talagang authentic na, may ganong abilities. So maybe if you could meet someone who has the same experience, maybe if you meet someone who has the same, let's say, abilities, rather, you may ask advice from that person in a way para mag-guide ka, kasi if that is really true, then baka maybe you have a gift, maybe you have a gift, or if not, maybe something in you has been activated that is in a way kailangan mong i-nurture, kasi baka pag hindi mo yan na control ng mabuti, yung iba kasi nababaliw. Yung iba naman, I'm not scaring yung Mama Johas. Yung iba nababaliw, yung iba nawawala lang, nagfi-fade. So sayang. Alright? But, the choice is yours kung pagpapatuloy mo yan na in-nurture or not. But, yeah. Luna Arcana Light, I fortunately maintain my ability from 27 years ago up to now. Very good. Sadly, dami na rin talagang naging alliterations and even myths there. True. Dami ng myths din sa Bible. Mama TM Joseph, hindi na ako masyado sa Bible, sorry. Matagal na akong naging lector. It's alright. It's alright. Pag pinag-usapan kasi yung Bible, Mama Jo, it's a very deep topic. Kasi imagine there are 72 books in the Catholic Bible. There are 66 books in the Protestant Bible. And in the Orthodox churches, iba-iba din yung mga set of books nila. And then there are other gospels that is not included in the Bible. So, and bawat scripture pa ng Bible, we need to understand paano yun sinulat, kailan yun sinulat, sinong sumulat, what is the bias of the author, yun, mga ganun. So, yeah, it's alright. We can just, discuss tidbits. Ricardo Searchman, Omel, bro, can you discuss the book Injil? What is your take on it? Book Angel. Wait, let me check if we have the same idea what is Book of Angel. Um, oh, this is ano? Yeah, this is the gospel. This is the story of Jesus in Islam. Mhm. Yeah, because in Islam kasi bro, different din yung portrayal nila, different din yung interpretation nila about who Jesus was. Alright? Because Islam actually Islam materialized I think around 900 years after Christianity. I'm sorry, not really 900 years, but uh post Christianity na kasi to. So, it could have been like second, third generation interpretations of the teachings of the Lord and Master Jesus. All right, so I really can't talk much on the book Injil because I haven't read that thoroughly, but um, yeah, maybe next time around we can discuss about that after I read it in full. But I have seen that book, but I haven't given much attention to it because what I'm focusing kasi right now is the pre-Christian teachings of Yeshua. So um, it's when we decipher what most likely is the authentic teachings of our Lord and Master Jesus within the uh, the New Testament, especially in the New Testament. Iyon. So it's like biblical scholarship trying to go back to the original language, Greek, and then Aramaic and Hebrew. Kasi yun naman talaga yung language nila noon. So Aramaic and Hebrew. And then it was then translated to Greek. Before it was translated to Greek, it was translated to Coptic because the Coptic language has the same syntax with the Greek language. So in trying to understand the authentic teachings of Maria Yeshua, ginawa kasi nila, they used the Gospel of Thomas as a benchmark kasi they realized that the Gospel of Thomas contains a more authentic sayings that can be translated back to Aramaic and Hebrew, while the New Testament is a much newer versions of the Gospel. So the Matthew, Mark, and Luke. So they try to cross-examine it. They try to look at the similarities, and then they try to see which is older in the three synoptic Gospels and so on. So yun, hinanap nila kung ano yung mga words na pwedeng matranslate back sa Aramaic that makes sense in the Jewish tradition. Kasi pag hindi siya na-translate back into Aramaic and Hebrew, means Greek yung origin niya. That means that word or phrase most likely is um, an addition or a rendition or a spin-off in the Bible or in that specific document. Kaya nga, di ba, the Synoptic Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, pag binasa mo, similar yung stories but there are variations. There are variations. So, you will see that if you really try to check the Gospels. So, yun. That's my focus right now. It's really on the authentic or original teachings of Mar Yeshua. If we can translate it back to Hebrew and Aramaic, then most likely, most probably, that is not an authentic saying of Jesus. Right? Lunar ka na like, maganda sana i-topic ang Bible debunking sa channel mo. Why would I debunk the Bible? Dami nang gumawa nun. Alright, so instead of focusing on the negative things on the Bible, why not let's focus on the positive things that we can get from the Bible to help us navigate our lives and focus on that, right? Mama Jo, hehe, ayaw ko, haha. Mama Jo, ano lang naman yun, suggestion lang naman yun. If, you want to follow that path. Kasi maraming mga tao na ganyan din. And, they have helped a lot of people because of their abilities. Yun lang naman. Luna Arcana Light, this ability to foresee clairvoyance is sensitive and need proper execution and care. Yes, that is true. Minsan kasi gumagawa niyan yung mga, ang tawag na ito, mga empath. Empath. Adi Torrente, hi kuya, hello! Hello Andrea, how are you? But medyo late ka na, it's already 12:51. But I'm still alive. Hello. Mama Jo, correct, kaya ayaw ko ng topic na yan. Left ako pa ganyan usapan niya. Tama po, Mama Jo. Luna Arcana Light, I do read the book of Elijah and Enoch. That's good, that's nice, wonderful. Adi Torrente, late na Mia. Andrea, you are very, very late. It's like how many hours na? Parang dry na yung mouth ko. Luna Arcana Light, I'm back. Oh, welcome again. You're back again. Nana FJ, I think there are hidden goods nuggets in the Bible, just like other sacred texts. That is true. One just have to have the eyes to see and ears to hear for one to understand its message. Yes, that is correct, Nana. Everywhere. Meron talagang nuggets of wisdom. Yun nga, palaging sinasabi ko, because I've learned this from my spiritual teachers as well. When the student is ready, the master will appear. So, the readiness of the student will determine the appearance of the master. Eto namang mga fake gurus, no? Sasabihin, oh, I am your master because you are already ready. Hindi ganon. The true master is within. It is our higher self, right? So, once we have, or once we are started, we have started the path of seeking, and then we have awakened something within us. The master will start appearing. The master is actually our higher self. It is our intuition. Diba? Nana? There are hidden goods or nuggets of wisdom in the Bible. Kahit nga sa Avon catalog, kahit sa FHM magazine, kahit sa newspaper, kahit yung billboard, when the student is ready, the master will appear. You will have that intuition, and that intuition will kick in every time you need it. For example, laki na ng problema mo. Parang gusto mo na mapakamatay. Pagtingin mo sa taas, may billboard doon, di ba? May Bible verse. Wow! Para to sa akin ah. But that billboard, it was actually there for like months ago. But the message had an impact to you when you greatly needed it. So that's where intuition kicks in, right? So, yun. Tapos, pag may naisip kang business, tapos may doubt ka, gagawin ko ba to o hindi? Tapos, you try to, divert your attention. So, you got an Avon catalog. And then when you open it, the first thing that you saw is, try it now. Uy, this is for me. Right? So, when the student is ready, the master will appear. So, there is nuggets of wisdom everywhere. Luna Arcana Light, sarap makinig, hahaha. And thank you then for being here. Luna Arcana Light, is there a certain topic about witches in the Bible? Witches in the Bible. Well, there are warlocks in the Bible. Yun ko lang kung tama ba yung interpretation ko. Eto. So, The Witch of Endor. Is there a certain topic about witches in the Bible? So, do you know King Saul? King Saul was actually the father of Jonathan. And Saul was the king before David replaced him. All right. So there was a story in the first book of Samuel where Saul actually went to the witch of Endor because he wanted to he consulted the witch so that the witch will summon the spirit of the prophet Samuel. So because he wanted to receive advice against the Philistines in the battle after his prior attempts to consult God through sacred lots and so yun Saul was trying to actually ask advice from God on how to defeat the Philistines. Yeah, because these are very uh, powerful uh, soldiers. The Philistines kasi they are advanced when it comes to weaponry on that time. Mm, yun. So, um, yeah, the witch actually summoned the spirit of Samuel. But I'm not sure if this is still in the book of Samuel kasi it says here na there's an issue and then they tried to remove it. Anyway, yun. This is just one of the witchy accounts in the Bible. Luna Arcana Light. Sana yan? Tingnan natin yung... So, most of the verses in the Bible that pertains to witches are somewhat negative. Exodus chapter 22 verse 18, English Standard Version. You shall not permit a sorceress to live, or a woman who is a medium or a necromancer shall surely be put to death. They shall be stoned with stones, their blood shall be upon them. Saan pa? Actually, marami pa. Babasahin ko ito lahat. Abutin tayo ng ilang oras. There are how many verses? There are mostly negative yung nakalagay eh. Oh, 105 Bible verses pala to. Alright. Okay. Nana FG, I'd like to hear your opinion on a topic from the Kabbalah, the Sefer Yetzirah. Do you think it simply talks in metaphor or is it possible to support the formation of miracles? Now, the book of Sefer Yetzirah in Kabbalah is one of the how should I say this? The book kasi is hindi mo siya pwede i-interpret immediately kasi language is greatly tied to culture. Alam naman natin siguro yun, di ba? Kaya nga, walang Filipino sa salitang roller coaster at toothpaste. Di ba? Kasi those words have not originated in our language. So, same with Sefer Yetzirah. They tried to translate the Sefer Yetzirah into English. However, what they can translate Sefer Yetzirah, it's because one word, one phrase could mean differently. So, di ba, we could translate the literal interpretation or the contextual interpretation. But it's really hard to determine kung ano talaga yung dapat na i-translate natin. Kasi the literal interpretation, baka nandun yung sagot. Kasi 'di ba, yung yung Jewish or Hebrew alphabet or their alphabet, once you tweak something, kapag eto nilagay mo to dito, pag ito nilagay, it will mean differently. Pag it change mo yung formation ng word, it would mean differently, and every letter ba of the Hebrew alphabet has a different corresponding number. So there's so much to learn, there's so much to discuss about the Hebrew language. How is it being used, especially the Sefer Yetzirah itself? So, in your question, do you think it simply talks in metaphor, or is it possible to support the formation of miracles? It could be both. We really don't know. To me, it seems like it is a code, right? But we really don't know. We really don't know. Um, Luna Arcana Light, I'm a mixed healer and witch in blood, kaya some certain people hate my point of view and the way of thinking. Well, it's alright. There are really people who will hate you for being who you are. But that's okay, because at least you're being who you are and you are not hurting them intentionally. It's just that they don't like you, and that's fine. It's alright not to be liked, right? Than to be liked by being who you are not. So all your life you're wearing a mask, and you can't be who you are. So you can't freely express the you can't fully express what is it that God has put into you, because you're afraid to be judged by others. And yeah, it's alright. It's just fine. Alright. Nana FG, the term witches might have other terms in other cultures, like say prophets, healers, foreseers, or diviners. Even necromancy was written there about the witch of Endor being consulted by King Saul. Yep. So the witch of Endor, yeah, it's called necromancy, pero hindi naman to necromancy, di ba? Hindi naman niya binuhay si Samuel. He just summoned of Samuel. Luna Arcana Light, parang from Catalyst GC halos lahat. I think so. And magical practices in itself is very profound. That is true. Magic is very, very complicated. Yun nga sinasabi ko, di ba? Mysticism is actually a science. It is a spiritual science. It has a system. And because it is a science, it is complicated in a way that, you can tweak this thing and then you can do this and that, and, it's just the mechanism. We cannot see the mechanism in the physical world, but we know that it is working, right? So, Nana FG, some cultures, like some Afro American traditions, who don't prefer the term witch since it sounds negative for some, some would rather be called a root worker, conjurer, babalaw, etc. It's just the same. Anyway, ang harsh nila sa witches, Luna Arcana, ang harsh nila sa witches. Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Nana FG, about magic per se, there are those surfacing around about the lost Gospel of Thomas. Don't know if you've heard that. That sort of has lost teachings of Jesus, kind of mind blowing, but I'm excited for it. Well, if you are talking about the Gospel of Thomas, kaming malabas ngayon na Gospel of Thomas na translated by Mayer and Peterson, I think. However, that is a literal translation. I have, if you like, I can send you actually a more accurate translation of the Gospel of Thomas. It was the translation made by Bishop Louis Kaiser, whom I consider to be my teacher because Bishop Louis Kaiser is the bishop of my bishop. So Bishop Louis Kaiser is the one who is a Bible scholar that focuses on the pre-Christian teachings of Mar Yeshua. And he is an adept in these things. He actually wrote so many books, especially in the mystical Christianity, esoteric Christianity, and I've learned a lot from him. That is why I stopped dwelling more on conspiracy theories because I have met the guy, or I say the man, who really knows the Bible, who really knows the hidden interpretation, or really not hidden, have deciphered the actual words and teachings of our Lord and Master Jesus. Now, going back to the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Thomas kasi, kung i-compare mo siya sa three synoptic Gospels, which is Matthew, Mark, and Luke, mas, anong tawag nito? Mas ano siya, mas naunang nasulat yung Gospel of Thomas. Kasi yung Gospel of Thomas kasi, it is a collection of logia. It is 114 logions, or let's say sayings. Tapos, etong mga Gospels kasi, they are narratives, right? They are stories. Ganito kasi yan, sa oral tradition, kasi wala naman talagang ano dati, wala namang apostle or disciple na nagsulat talaga ng teachings ni Jesus. Ito one. So, because of the oral tradition, di ba, kung may sasabihin, sa ako yung master, ikaw yung student, pag may sasabihin ako sa'yo, ano yung mas mare-remember mo? Yung whole paragraph na sasabihin ko, yung whole story, or let's say keywords, or key phrases, or key sentences. Di ba mas matatandaan mo yung mga key phrases or key sentences lang, right? So, when they compared the Gospel of Thomas, comparing it to the Synoptic Gospels, they found out that the Gospel of Thomas predates the three Synoptic Gospels. And then, ganito kasi yan, every 20 to 50 years, the style of writing of the scribes actually changes a bit. So, the Bible scholars can date accurately when it was written. So, isa din yun sa pinagbabasihan nila. And then, the Bible scholars kasi, they are looking for this document that they call Q, or the Quell. The Q document kasi, they say na, this might be the original document na pinagkopyahan nila sa tatlong Gospels, kasi ganito yan. The Q document right now, according to the research of Bishop Louis Kaiser, the Q document maybe have gone, wala na yung Q document. However, most of the phrases or the words that can be found on the Q document, or the Quell Q document, is in the Gospel of Thomas. So, the first Gospel that was actually written, kung pagbabasihan natin ang three synoptic Gospels, is actually the Gospel of Mark. But in the Bible, diba, it's Matthew, Mark, and Luke. But the first Gospel that was written is the Gospel of Mark. And the Gospel of Mark is not written by the Apostle Mark. The Gospel of Mark is actually written by a disciple of Peter. And that disciple of Peter is named Mark. Wala siya sa Bible. Because kung mapapansin mo, sa Gospel of Judas, ang bida si Judas. Sa Gospel of Philip, ang bida si Philip. Sa Gospel of Mary Magdalene, ang bida si Mary Magdalene. But sa Gospel of Mark, bakit ang bida si Peter? It seems like Peter is the one narrating the entire story. So it was not the Apostle Mark, but uh, it was Mark, the disciple of Peter. And then the Gospel of Mark actually has uh, an outer and a secret gospel. There is actually a secret gospel of Mark na nawala na ngayon. However, we have evidences that it existed before it was destroyed by the Roman Church, unfortunately. All right, so there's a Gospel of Mark and there's a secret Gospel of Mark. This is for the inner disciples where the inner teachings is being contained. And the outer Gospel of Mark is the Gospel of Mark that we are reading today. All right, now, because of this Gospel of Mark, the original Gospel of Mark was a copy, or he got the idea from the Q document. Now, because of the Gospel of Mark, nawala na yung secret Gospel of Mark, the next Gospel was the Gospel of Matthew. Gospel of Matthew was actually a copy of the Gospel of Mark. However, the writers, which is like a generation or two apart, try to insert a different story, a different variation, and whatnot. So try to look at it, di ba? Makikita mo na iba yung story na nasa Gospel of Matthew at nasa Gospel of Mark. Parang ganito yan. Yung Q document, yung Mark, tsaka Matthew. So si Matthew, kumuha siya ng konti sa Q, kumuha siya ng konti sa Mark. And then, may another idea na in-insert sila doon. Right. Now, the Gospel of Luke is actually not really a gospel, but it's a very, very long letter to a person named Theophilus. So, the Gospel of Luke is actually connected with the Gospel of, with the Acts of the Apostles. So, it's called Luke Acts. Hinati lang nila yan, ginawa nilang Gospel si Luke, at ang Acts, ginawa nilang separate document, ginawa lang Acts of the Apostles. But actually, that's just one very, very, very long letter to a person named Theophilus. So, ganun yun. But the Q document, which they are looking for, hindi na yun makikita. But the Gospel of Thomas, which is, according to most researchers, is more closer to this Q document that they are looking for. So, yun. I hope you've learned something new. Nagiging Bible geek na ba ako? Sorry. Alright, so, Lunar Arcana Light, thank you for not being liked by them. I like myself. True. Nana FG, but of course, with every info found, important is to read a lot, but never forget to filter some more and not believe right away. That is true. Because you need to take everything with a grain of salt. That's what I tell everyone. And that's what the Buddha has been telling us, diba? He said, don't believe in something because you've read it on a book or because someone told you, because someone in authority told you. So, no. You need to have your own understanding. You need to have your own experience. You need to have your own investigation. You need to have your own logical understanding on it before you believe into something, right? Lunar Arcana Light, key sentences, of course. Yes, correct. So in oral tradition, what is remembered is the key sentences. Nana FGO, I would like to have a copy of that. Yes, please. Okay. Yeah, send me later your email via Facebook, and I will send you a copy of the Gospel of Thomas. And ang nakaganda nito, hindi lang siya Gospel of Thomas. There is, what do you call that? Commentary. There's a commentary about it. So, basta, it's really fun. If you are someone who is, fond of reading these kinds of works, then, I think you will enjoy this one. Luna Arcana Light, I would like to get a deeper on that. You make my mind interested. Um, yeah, sure. We'll have a conversation on this, and I'm glad that you are interested because minsan kasi pag sa inuman, ngayon pag nag-iinuman kami ng mga kaibigan ko, and then we started talking about the Bible, and then I started sharing my take on it. People will be like, yung kainuman ko started texting na, yung isa pumupunta na ng CR, yung iba nakikinig na ng music. So, parang nagiging Bible geek na ako. And hindi talaga ako palabasan ng Bible. Sa totoo lang. Kung hindi ako naging pare, hindi ako magbabasa ng Bible. So I became a priest first before I really started digging deep on the Bible. And right now, it seems like, it's a new dimension for me. So it's different. Luna Arcana Light, it's nice to read and read, but not to swallow everything that you have read, but create own thinking. Yes, that is true. You can just read and put the information there, but don't believe it right away. But just keep it there. It's good that you have that information. One day when you will need it, you can just get it and then comprehend. Okay, this is good. This is not good, or maybe my interpretation is wrong. Basta kay, nandyan lang yan. Alright? Just put it there. Alright, Luna Arcana Light, I'll send my email to. Drop it there, please. Okay, sure. I will send it. Nana FG, done. PM sent. Thanks, Pads. Alright, no worries. I will be sending it. Luna Arcana Light, I have read Bible when I'm 9 years old. Oh, very good. 9 years old, you started reading the Bible. Ako, when I'm 9 years old, I think I'm just watching Ghost Fighter. I'm just watching Ghost Fighter and Doraemon at home. I really don't have any interest in spirituality or whatsoever when I was younger. Uh, it was only when I grew older, I became an agnostic before I became a priest. I was really, really an agnostic. I started believing in everything. For me, yeah, Jesus could exist. He could be true, or he could not be true. But the thing is, the examples that he's shown here in the Bible is okay. So should I hate him for that? I thought no. So yeah, maybe the story of Jesus is a good story. So yun lang nasa isip ko dati. And maybe other religions are true as well. Maybe it's just a different take on things. But I really didn't care if God existed or not. And I didn't seek anything. It just happened. Series of synchronicities that led me to my path right now. Very interesting, ah. Oh, nasa na si Adi Torrente? Are you still there, Andrea? Rochmain, are you still there, brother? Rochmain. Mama Jo, are you still there, Mama Jo? Or busy na si Mama Jo? I think busy na si Mama Jo. Sino pa? Sino pa ba nandito? Si John Spencer, bro. Are you still there, bro? John Spencer? Are you still there? Alright. Wala na yung iba. Baka tulog na. But anyway, sa mga um, Luna Arcana Light, I started 8 and finished it 9. Haha. Tingin ko sa Bible on wonderful to be so true, but I love Jesus even if people sabotage the writings about it. That is true. Um, Jesus, actually, the name Jesus is a Western invention already, because his name was not Jesus. Um, Jesus came from the Hellenization of the word Yeshua. His name was Yeshua. And then when Paul carried the teachings of Jesus outside Jerusalem, so he translated it into Jesus. Jesus. And then Jesus, when it was translated into English, it became Jesus. But actually, the name Joshua and the name Jesus are actually just the same if you try to translate it back to um, Hebrew or Aramaic. Yeah. And yeah, Yeshua is really the name of Jesus. So Lord Jesus is actually Mar Yeshua. Name of Jesus is Yeshua ben Yosef, or Jesus, the son of Joseph. And Jesus Christ is actually Yeshua HaMessiah, or Jesus the Messiah, or Jesus the Christ, right? Lenny Acompañado, hello. Hello, ma. How are you? Napaday ka, ma? Alright. Lunar Arcana Light, yep, Yeshua, yes. Ricardo Srochmain Omel, sa akin naman kahit anong scriptures, ang mensahe ng love is always present. Yes, that is true. And that is one thing that we really, really need to see and understand. It's because the teachings of love and compassion is always present. It seems like it is the golden thread. It is the golden string that sews together all these different religious traditions. It is like the glue. Love is like the glue that holds all religions together. Kasi nga, di ba, religion is an institution. It is an organization of belief systems, believing on other people's experience rather than believing in your very own experience is actually spirituality, the seeking deep within. All right. Lenny, acompañado. I'm good, thank you. Emma. Ricardo Srochmain Omel, yes, I'm still here listening. Namaste, bro. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you so much for staying here. Nana FG, there's a reason why Jay-Z, Jesus Christ said to let the children come to him, and how the kingdom of God is that in those whose hearts are like those a wandering child. Hmm. Yeah, that's actually a very good, interpretation, right? Um, the kingdom of God is that in those whose hearts are like those of a wandering child. But if I will give you the if I will give you a copy of the Gospel of Thomas, this statement here that you've shared, this actually has a different meaning. And yeah, so you just stay put ka lang dyan. uh, yes, the words of the master is dual in nature, right? So it is milk to those who are not spiritually mature, but it could also be meat to those who are spiritually mature. So this interpretation that you've mentioned here, this is one of the this is only one of the interpretations of this statement, and this is the milk. There is a meat behind this. All right, so watch out. All right, so sino pa? Pangit na ng buhok ko, wala nang conditioner. Luna Arcana Light, I do not actually preach or make the verses of the Bible in discussion, but I do battle and apply what I have read in the Bible that I see I needed. Yes, yes, that is true. Because, yun kasi ginagawa ng iba. The verses that they've read in the Bible, they use it to prove their point, to fight against each other. And sometimes we're guilty about that because we also do that at times, right? But the best thing to do with that is to take those words that make sense to us and then use it in our daily lives. Yun naman talaga yung purpose ng mga words ni Jesus. It's meant for us to be transformed, right? The words of Jesus is actually very transformative. And no matter how they tweak the New Testament, the lessons are still there. And if you really are keen to really look at the teachings of our Lord and Master, then you will realize that, you know, it's actually just very simple. Following the path of love, light, and compassion, that's it. Love others, love God. No? Um, it was actually this there's actually this one rabbi. There was actually this one wise rabbi who was asked by an arrogant man. He said, uh, Rabbi, if you can recite the entire Torah, Torah is the five books of the law, the Old Testament. If you can recite the Torah with only 1 foot standing, then I will become your disciple. Yun yung sabi ng, arrogant teenager. Sabi ng rabbi. Okay. So he stand up and then he stood in 1 foot. Tumayo lang siya. Isang pa. Sabi niya, okay, I will recite the Torah with just 1 foot standing. Sabi niya ganun. Love God, love others. The rest are just commentaries. And then he stopped. And then the arrogant young man who listened to him kneeled down and he said, I am now your disciple. So, it's actually just simple. Love God, love others. The rest are just commentaries. Luna Arcana Light, Know what? I see people now, they fight each other and said that they love the God, but being stupid don't know how to apply it in very essence. Yeah. It defeats the purpose. Yun nga, sinabi ko kanina, di ba? During the wars, during the, sinabi ko to kanina, um, the world wars are happening. It's not a war between good and evil. It's a war between my belief versus your belief. I believe in this, you believe in that, let's fight. Right. Nana FG? Exactly. Instead of using it to battle with other people, you use it to battle with yourself and everyday life, or rather to transform yourself. That is very true. That is very true. Um, according kay Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The Prophet Muhammad have a very wonderful quote about this. The Prophet Muhammad said, sana yun? Okay. Sabi ni Prophet Muhammad, the greatest jihad is to battle your own soul, to fight the evil within yourself. So, to put it into perspective in our discussion today, um, we need to use the teachings, right, of Christ, of our Lord and Master Jesus, in order to transform ourselves, to reform ourselves, so that we become Christ like. All right, so uh, Nana FG, to become like the Christ, yep, it doesn't refer to just consciousness. That is true. Um, Christ consciousness, it is the consciousness of God that is within you, and you need to embody that specific consciousness, that Christ consciousness that is within you, because we are all the vessels of Christ here in this world. Kaya nga, di ba, parating sinasabi ni Jesus na the kingdom of heaven is within you, and Jesus said that he'll be coming back, but not as Jesus, but the Christ. It's actually an allegory or a metaphor of the awakening of Christ within us, that we become the vessels of God. We become the living embodiment of God here in this world, right? Lana Arcanalite, I'll accept you in the FB, then I'll drop my email. All right, thank you. Thank you, Luna. Yeah, just send me your email so that I could also send with you the copy of the Gospel of Thomas. All right, Luna Arcanalite, I like the Gospels thing. Yeah, the Gospel of Thomas. It's very powerful. All right, so yeah, 9 people are watching now. Who is here? Paramdam naman kayo kung nandyan kayo. Just please say hi or hello. Di ko nakikita nawala na si Adi Torrente, nawala na si Mama Jo, nawala na din si, sino pa? Oh, si John Spencer. Luna Arcana Light 20 to 21. And it is also in the Gospel of Thomas. Alright, so do they see the text in the Bible that God is within you? Yes. Luke chapter 17, verses 20 to 21. And it is also in the Gospel of Thomas. Gospel of Thomas. Alright, so yeah, it is in the Gospel of Thomas, Logion 3. Luna Arcana Light, me, Ricardo Richmond Omel, still here. Lenny Acompañado, hi everyone, still listening. Hi Ma, thank you for staying. Nana FG, I think that's why in Holy Mass they say, the Lord be with you. And the response be, and also with your spirit. It's like a reminder that God is within us. Yeah, it's actually just like the same with Namaste. I honor God within you, which is also the God within me. Diba? The Lord be with you. Diba dati sabi? And also be with you. And now, and with thy spirit, or and with your spirit. It's actually just the same. So that is why one needs to have uh, one's really need to have a grasp or a good understanding about the sacraments, about the rituals that we do at church. It's because hindi naman yan magic lang. It actually has a psycho-spiritual effect, right? It's actually have a psycho-spiritual effect to all of us. Um, yun nga tinanong ako, Frater Joe or Brother Joe, um, if you are a Gnostic, you know that the Gnostics were tortured and killed by the Roman Catholic Church like during the medieval times. So bakit hanggang ngayon nagmimisa ka pa rin and yet you claim to be a Gnostic? Well, um, actually no. I need to be very straightforward about this. You can actually choose not to go to church and be spiritual, right? You can actually meditate at home. You can do your sadhana or your spiritual practices at home. That's why nga, di ba, I've mentioned about the monkhood of the 21st century. Yun yung tinatanong mo kanina, Nana, di ba? However, why is the Mass necessary? The Mass is necessary because it has a psycho-spiritual effect. For those who are not yet ready to eat the meat, which is this order, this monkhood that I am presenting today. For those people who just wanted to go to church and experience God in the Mass, then yes, we offer Mass. We offer the different sacraments because they need it in that specific stage in their life. But one day, I'm sure that one day, all the sacraments, all the churches, even the Mass, will not be needed anymore because everyone will know God within them. Everyone will worship the God that is within them, and that they don't need any church, they don't need any priest, and then they don't need any specific type of ritual that is being done inside the temple just for them to experience God. But right now, it is still needed. That's why we still do. That's why we still do Mass. Alright? Luna Arcana Light, katulad ng Allahu Akbar, yes. Nana FG, Namaste. Ng Assalamualaikum, yes. Allahu Akbar means God is the greatest. Assalamualaikum means peace be unto you. Yes. Alright, time check. It's 1:41 a.m. at buhay pa tayong lahat. Palakpakan natin mga sarili natin. We're still here. Alright, so, um, ano pa ba? Wala tayong topic, no? Pero, ang dami nating napag-usapan. Alright. So, ano pa ba? Sino pang may tanong or sino pang may gustong i-discuss dyan? Nana, ano ba yung question mo kanina about the modern monkhood? Um, may follow-up question ka pa ba doon or wala na? At Luna Arcana Light, do you still have any more questions? Um, Sino pa? Si Rochmain? Luna Arcana Light, I have something in Mass and Church na same sa witches rituals. It's like regime of woman to be beautiful every day. Yeah, because the Mass is actually borrowed by the Christians from the pagans, right? So it's like a fusion of culture. Um, but it is very powerful. It is very powerful. The pagan practice, the ritual that we have induced in the Mass, it is very powerful that in a way it creates a psycho-spiritual effect to the people. It is it is a mystery drama. The Mass kasi is like a mystery drama of the Christ, right? Um, there's so many hidden symbolisms in there. The Son, S-U-N, the Son of God, S-O-N, the transfer of energy, the consecration of the bread and wine, the mudras used by the priests, the release of energy, the absorption of energy from the people. It's actually energy work. It is theurgy. All right? It is theurgy in a Christian sense, in a more subtle nature. All right? Luna Arcana Light. Yes, I have a question. All right, so what is your question, Luna? Nana FG, I'm good. I just remembered Saint Benedict and other hermits turned monk and was looking into the allegory of it with the modern monk. Thanks for the insight. Well, if you are really looking for, um, let's say, insights on the modern monasticism, there are actually videos over YouTube about the new about modern monasticism. It's actually very good. However, their version of modern day of their modern monasticism is wala silang robes. So sa amin kasi, I would like to retain the tradition of wearing robes, but at least just for special occasions, at least once a month, during the sangha or during the meeting in the ashram or the temple where we will have our, let's say, service. We will actually be doing monthly service. Could be feeding programs, could be cleanup drives, tree planting activities, or whatnot. Anything that could serve humanity aside from the spiritual discussions, intellectual discussions that we will be doing once a month. We'll also have these activities, and we will also have, of course, every day sa bahay at sa opisina, we do meditation, we do contemplation. That is not really that hard. Di talaga siya mahirap. It just needs to be, you just need to be acquainted to it every day. And then it becomes a habit. It becomes just like breathing. At di mo na namamalayan that um, you become mindful, you become more self-aware, and you are slowly uh, becoming aware of your actions. Some minsan dati meron kang mga reactions na almost instant or automatic, but once you become more mindful, more self-aware, you start being more calm, being more uh, proactive instead of being reactive on things. You become more patient with the things that you do. Yung mga bagay na dati-rati kinakainisan mo gawin, ngayon nagagawa mo na. Things like that. What we are trying to that's what we are trying to do, right? So Luna Arcana Light, I want me to explore more what you've gone through these readings. It's not a question. I think you can just answer yes or no. My bad, the monkhood thing, and even I'm a witch. Well, I think you have not seen my video yet. I actually created a primer video on that. I actually created an intro video about this modern monkhood that we are planning to do. So maybe I'll send the YouTube link, the Facebook video. Um, it's the ecumenical Gnostic order. Okay. The ecumenical Gnostic order. Copy the link. Ano daw? Just copy the link there. Here. All right. So yeah, Luna Arcana Light. I have sent you the link of that. Our core spirituality kasi here is Christianity. So if that is your thing, then that is good. Dito kasi I don't know if you already know that I am a liberal Catholic priest. I am a priest from the Catholic Universalist Church. It's still a religion, yes. However, surprisingly, our religion doesn't have any doctrine. Though we have the seven sacraments, but we don't have doctrine or dogma. Maybe the only dogma that we have is first we practice the seven sacraments. Again nga, di ba sinabi ko kanina, it's for the psycho-spiritual effect that the sacraments is giving to the people. Especially the mass, it's a meditative practice. Second is that we don't believe in eternal hell. So we believe in what they call universalism. Universalism is the belief that everyone will be reunited with God in the fullness of time. So that could either mean reincarnation or to be in a hell, but the hell is just the hell that we are talking about here is just temporary. And when it's about to go to heaven, you go to heaven. That is our belief in the church. So we don't have any problems with people who are from different religions, and then they go to our church. Wala kami problema doon. Kasi we also practice open communion. So yun. So um yeah, so kaya what happened is that kasi napaka-open ng church namin. I even officiate LGBT unions. So, marami na ako na-officiate na LGBT couples dito sa CDO. And dahil doon, medyo sumikat ako. Tinawag nga nila ako dito na false prophet, the father of all gays. Very funny. Anyway, yeah. So, halo-halo yung tao na pumapasok sa simbahan. But we don't believe in church membership. Just a heads up. If you want to, attend our masses, go. If you stop attending our masses, then that's fine. You don't have to change your religion. You don't have to have a religion. You can just come in the church. But the problem is, dito kasi medyo mahirap ang dilemma ko ngayon, because people who are coming into me are mixed. So may nagsisimba na traditional Catholics, may nagsisimba na traditional Christian. However, meron din namang mga pumupunta sa simbahan na very esoteric, very mystical yung belief system. So, I decided to create within the church a spiritual order of monks, brothers and sisters, monks and nuns. It's a brotherhood, sisterhood, and I call it the ecumenical Gnostic order. So this is for those people who are already advanced in the spiritual path. These are for people who are seeking the spiritual path. And yun nga, in-explain ko kanina kay Nana. It is the spiritual path wherein, you're just a regular householder. Nasa bahay ka, you can be married, you can be not married, you can have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or kahit wala. However, you need to be constantly practicing the meditation practices, the mindfulness, and the self-awareness that we need to have every day. At the same time, you need to have these 3 vows. So the 3 vows that we have is the vow of poverty. That's number 1. Number 2 is the vow of chastity. And number 3 is the vow of obedience. So these vows have actually been modified to fit these vows has been modified to fit the context of the 21st century. So the vow of poverty doesn't mean that we need to be poor like beggars, right? So the vow of poverty natin it's the vow of non-attachment and non-materialism. So for example, ganito ito pinaka-simplest explanation. Let's say may pera ka talaga. You're from a wealthy family, or you have a good business or a high-paying job. Okay. Now, you saw your friend who have the latest model of the cell phone. Yung brand ng cellphone na yun din yung brand ng cellphone mo. Kaso lang, yung cellphone mo, hindi siya latest model. But it's still functional. It's still functional. However, kasi bumili ng bagong cellphone yung kaibigan mo, would that mean that you need to also buy the same cell phone? Even if you can afford to buy it, even if you can afford to buy 10 of it. Now, that's a practice of self-discipline. That's a practice of self-awareness and mindfulness. Do you need it? What benefit will you get if you buy it? Right? So that's the vow of poverty. Second is we also have this what we call the vow of chastity. Now the vow of chastity in ancient times means to really avoid sexual contact because to maintain spiritual purity. But today we understand that spiritual energy and sexual energy is actually just the same energy, only different expressions. So right now our vow of chastity is actually keeping the sexual act sacred and holy by being in a committed, loving, monogamous, loving, Christ-centered relationship. Ganun yun. It doesn't necessarily mean that you need to be married. You can be boyfriend or girlfriend. No judgment on it, so long as you yourself, you are committed in that one monogamous, loving, Christ-centered relationship. Now, lastly, we have the vow of obedience. Um, in ancient times, the vow of obedience means obedience to the Pope or obedience to the bishop, obedience to the rules of the church. However, our vow of obedience is different. Our vow of obedience is being obedient to your higher self. Kasi nga, di ba, you will have spiritual practices every day, you will have meditations, you will have contemplations, and you also have these different vows. What matters most is what is God telling you deep within your heart? And by submitting to that voice within you, that is our vow of obedience. Okay, so Luna, Arcana Light, or Alona, you may want to check that link that I shared with you and let me know. No, PM mo ko later. Send me a message later via Facebook if that is the path that you would like to follow or not. All right. Just someone. I'm back. Uy, brother. Hello there. Namaste. Welcome. Nana FG, and yep, the name of the order sounds Thelemic, hence magical in a way. Yep. So, ginawa ko siyang ecumenical Gnostic order because it's ego. No, madali siyang tandaan and it is related to, the things that we are doing. Ego kasi is the vessel of the divine to manifest. And the Gnostic order, yeah, it is a vessel. And it's ecumenical because we accept people from different walks of life. That's why ecumenical. Luna Arcana Light, sarap pa sana makinig kaso 15% na lang ako. Alright, it's alright. No problem. Luna Arcana Light, Gnosticism. Yes. Yes, Gnosticism. I consider myself a Gnostic. To be specific, I consider myself I am a neo-Gnostic. That's my spirituality, perhaps. My goodness, I'll check my astrology GC na. Bye everyone. Bye. All right. Bye Luna. Good night. Good night ba? Good morning sana. Goodbye Luna. Namaste. Just check the link I shared and also send me your email so that I can send with you the book, The Gospel of Thomas. All right. Nana FD, yes, ego is no bad thing when exercised to do the right thing, aka as a vessel. Yes, that is correct. Because ego again is dual in nature. It has a good inclination and a bad inclination. So the ego needs to be submissive to the higher self. Okay. Ano pa ba? Sino pa bang gusto makipag-usap dyan? Please wag nang mahiya. Sige, last question before we end this session. It's already 2:01 a.m. And I think I need to sleep na. But yeah, sino pa may question dyan? Last one. Alright? Wala na ba? Wala na ba? Wala nang gusto makipag-usap dyan? Calling once? Calling twice? Alright, so I guess wala nang magtatanong. So, I think, yeah, I think it's time to say goodbye na. So, but before I end this, yeah, gusto ko lang share to. I got this cap from The Seeker Clothing. So, kung gusto niyo po yung mga psychedelic, esoteric, mystical, metaphysical t-shirt designs, cap designs, or even bag designs, maybe The Seeker Clothing is just right for you. So, I'll be including their link sa comment section mamaya. Alright? Okay, so I guess that's it, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Pasasalamatan ko lahat ng pumunta rito. Kahit wala na sila. Jan Spencer, thank you so much, brother. Annalyn Jane, my wife. She's already asleep now, but her YouTube is still open. YouTube account is still open. Tapos si Heidi, mother ko. Alright, she's also here. Just someone. I don't know who you are, bro, but thank you for being here. Lenny Acompañado, this is my mother-in-law. Ma, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope nag-enjoy ka. Sino pa? Oh, si Luna Arcana Light or si Miss Alona. Wala na siya, but yeah, still thank you. And of course, kay Adi Torrente. I don't know if she's still here, but thank you so much for coming here, Adi. And also to Nana FG. Nana, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Sayang wala si Tim ngayon, Tim Sabas. Siya pa naman yung active na active yun si Tim. Of course, si Mama Jo. Mama Jo, even though she's late, but she really participated and really had a nice conversation with Mama Jo. Thank you so much, Mama Jo. Sino pa? Sino pa ba? Oh, si Rochmain, Ricardo's Rochmain. Oh, my brother, thank you so much for staying with me, frater. Yeah, I hope nag-enjoy ka. I hope you've learned new things. And sino pa ba? Sino pang nandito kanina? We had a really good conversation today. Daming interaction. Yep. Thank you so much, guys. And also, I had fun today. It's already 2 a.m. pero I'm still very alive, so I hope makakatulog ako after nito kasi my mind is still working. Alright. Anyway, isang meditation lang to, makakatulog na ako. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, see you all on Facebook, alright? If you have questions, clarifications, I'm just one chat away. Okay, you can reach me on Facebook. And you can also interact on my posts. And also, if you have some questions, you can actually drop in the comment section below. If not, if you're looking for maybe practical things about spirituality, about how to meditate, how to travel back in time through meditation, I have some videos in this YouTube channel, so you might just want to check those. It's been a while since I haven't posted any new video because I'm focusing on live broadcasts or live streaming on my YouTube channel. However, I'll still be posting more content soon, so watch out. So, yun. Thank you so much, and thank you for staying with me. So, I hope next week, andyan pa rin kayo. And I hope next week, marami pa rin tayong mapag-uusapan na maganda. So, that's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste.